Okay. Hey, uh, really big news. I think my big Goliath beetle is about to pupate. Watch this. So, uh, before she moved real slow, I didn't do anything. See how she turns her head around like she's gonna try to get me? Watch this. I might get bit doing this. But I also notice her little jaws are clamping too. Um, See how she's turning like that? She never used to do that. And you see her jaws clamp? She's trying to get me. That's good. That means she's hitting her wandering phase. She also has gotten slightly yellower. She's lost a little weight, which means she's not really eating. I'm gonna sift through this substrate and I bet I find all of her food in there. This is really, really big news and I don't wanna miss the chance to get her in a pupating container, like a bigger container so she can pupate. And it's a little scary because you got to get the timing right on this. Like, if she's really, if I'm too early, like, you don't really feed her in the big pupation container. So this is my pupation container. It's, I sealed it up with plastic wrap to just keep it like nice and airtight, but this is clay in here. I baked some clay over here. This is extremely dry, hard clay. This clay's too wet, so I gotta kind of hit a medium, happy medium with those, so I'll probably figure that out real quick. I made a lid, which is, I was just drilling these holes, and then it's got this gauze over it so that you don't get, what you call them, fungus gnats, little tiny flies. I noticed one of the things that they do when they enter the wandering phase, if they have a small container, and I had her in this really small container, is they start doing laps. And I noticed I had a tunnel all the way around the outside. So I think that's several of the warning signs. So she's lost a little weight, she's not eating, she's bitey, she's a little yellow, she's doing laps. So I think she's entering the wandering phase, so we gotta get her set up in this pupation chamber. So I fixed the clay. I'm gonna put her some coconut. It's gonna be a little drier than this. This is what she has been living in now, and it's a little, it's like, it's actually not very wet, but it's wet enough that you can kind of squish it. It's actually probably perfect at that. So then I gotta get all of that filled up. I'm gonna leave some air near the top, and then I'm gonna put some like peat moss in there, because what she's gonna do is she's gonna push a little like concave, like little ovular like spot. So she's gonna push the outer edges. She might collect some clay first to just like help it like sit together better and bond, and that moss will help a little too. And then she's gonna push the outer edges and create where it's like denser, and that'll create kind of a wall. And then inside of there, she'll shed her skin and be a pupa, which is not a larva anymore, but also not an adult. It's the in-between phase, like a butterfly has. Then it takes her about a month to grow all the requisite like beetle parts, like adult beetle parts in there. So she'll be doing that. Inside this little chamber, she won't eat. I just have to check on the moisture every so often, so it doesn't get too dry, but it's like, it needs to be drier than the normal substrate. So it can dry out a little, but you don't want it to be like desiccated. Then she'll emerge as an adult beetle, like within the next 2 months after, because Goliath beetles do this weird thing where they enter diapause, which is very similar to hibernation in mammals. It's like their body slows down and they don't do stuff, like a little sleepy phase. So she'll enter diapause for an additional 3 months. So it'll be about 6 months before she's like out and about as an adult beetle, which is just so exciting. It's really easy to lose beetles of all species at this phase. This is like a big vulnerability phase, and with this species in particular, the big trick is to not screw up this timing. So that's why I've been weighing her regularly and checking if she's eating her food and checking for these other little warning signs. Because if I don't get her in there and she's in a really small container, she can die of exhaustion. If I move her to a, if she doesn't do that because of like whatever reasons, like maybe it's not super densely packed, so she doesn't get super tired in a small container, she still could just sort of like get to a point where she's too tired to like form a pupation cell, and or she doesn't like find what she's looking for, because they kind of like look for the soil that they like. And that's what we're trying to recreate here with the clay of the right, like, moisture and density. So it's like I could put her in there, the clay might be wrong, there could just still be like 100 things that could go wrong. And if she doesn't like make the pupal chamber right, she'll die. If she makes the pupal chamber and it cracks because it's too wet, as a larva, she's still in that sort of like anxious, like wandering phase, even building that. So like if there's a hole, she'll like run out of it. But then she won't have the energy to make a new pupation chamber, so she'll die. So there's just a lot of ways this can go wrong. So as you can tell, I'm talking very fast. I'm really nervous. But this, I feel like I'm catching this at the right time. So this is really promising. The big trick now is to get this moisture where I want it. I'm gonna read all the blogs, make sure I got it right. And then we just have to get her in there. And it could take her a couple of weeks before she forms a pupation chamber. And I'm a little nervous. Like, I'm not even sure how to really check on that. Like, I don't really want to go digging around in there and disturbing her if she's like in the middle of building it, because I could break it open. So it's just like, I don't have to read up on all that. Anyways, you can see she's chilling out under here. So, big day. So, okay, I think that's it for me. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye.